you have to always tell the person that you're with what ins and outs. It's not a one-man band.
If I have a wife and then I have to go get her permission to invest in my own business to provide more for the family, she should leave me.
Man,
Yeah.
you're pulling out all the stops, bro. Jeez.
It's not about the tactics, the how to do it, but the most important thing is understanding principles. First things first is tying off each objection. So not letting them getting off the hook, you need to get the answer. And number two is more leadership, especially when it comes to partner objection. You got to instill more leadership into them, especially when you're selling to consumers. They lack a lot of confidence. You can go into any offer and just quote unquote freestyle. It doesn't matter if you get an unexpected prospect, unexpected scenario. It's like putting together like a puzzle piece. So that's why we always study. Inside of our training program, Real Sales System, we do daily code reviews and role play feedback sessions with our students. In this live training session, we're going to go over reviewing some of our students' sales call recordings, going over how to overcome partner objections, how to overcome fear objections, and how to build more urgency within the discovery to reduce the objections from happening in the first place by holding the prospect to a higher standard. Now, these are students who are already making 10K to 15K a month in commissions, but there's always something we can tweak to get to the next level. Now, these students have paid a high four-figure investments to even be here, but I'll give you a sneak peek for free. Buckle up.
In the discovery, I feel like I should have pre-handled the partner. I should have pre-handled.
In 3 months would have you.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know how to do that without saying like, hey, do you need her on this call to make a decision? Yes or no?
It's a responsibility thing. So how do you pre-handle a partner? A lot of times partner objections are not a legitimate objection in B2C, unless it's like a business partner and then they both have to be on board, but there's a specific way of asking questions to do that. But in your case, like a biz out to regular consumer, a lot of times it's just not. It's just they're externalizing the responsibility to someone else, right? And so how to go about that, you can sense it in the way they talk. As an example, if they mention, oh, everybody wants to make more money. When you ask, what's the outcome that you want? Oh, everybody wants to make more money. It's good for everyone. What about for yourself? So if they when you ask questions about them, and they use a lot of language like based on like third-party pronouns, like, oh, they, or, you get stressful. When you clearly asked, what's that doing to you? That's usually a warning sign that they could give you some sort of external objection, like a partner objection, or can I see more testimonials, or is this a scam, yada, yada, yada. So based on their language, you can sense what objection they could potentially give you, and you got to coach them on how to talk, and that's how you pre-handle it. That's one way of doing it. Okay. Another way of doing it is in that solution section. Hey, before you start talking to me, what are they looking for ways to, yada, yada, yada. And if they're blaming on external factors, such as, oh, I just was waiting for the perfect time. I was just waiting for the right time. Or I was waiting for, it was my boss, or they're blaming on things like that. Then you could also get a partner objection. Then you got to get them to take ownership. So why the partnership happen is because of lack of responsibility. So how do we do that is we got to get them to take responsibility. You got to do a heavy responsibility for them. Okay.
I got that there. I assumed that I did anyway. He said, oh, I've just been seeing it around, but I haven't taken action. And I went through it. Do you feel like because you haven't taken action, that's actually led you to where you're at today? He's like, yeah. What has that costed you? It's costing me time with my family. What's that going to cost you? Because he has a kid on the way. So what's that going to cost you in the future when you got a kid on the way? Oh, yeah, probably same thing. Are you willing to settle for that? No. What do you feel like you have to do? He said, I've got to make the time. I said, why now? I thought I nailed it. So I thought, yeah, this would be an easy close, but yeah.
Let's go over it.
Let's do it.
It's a trap.
At least 10K a month.
Yeah, right.
So I know that I can help.
Yeah.
We've done it for a lot of people before. Do you feel like you'd be okay doing this?
I can, but yeah, just I know that 5K. I just need to go get past Jess and talk to him.
That's okay. Yeah. That's not a problem, man. Do you feel like this is what you guys want to do though, money aside?
Yeah, we could. Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. That's all I need to know. That's
When he says him, does he have a business partner, or who's he referring to?
The audio transcript was messed up. It's a girl.
Okay.
completely fine.
Cheers.
Just to double check, does the 5K fit within the budget for you guys as well, or is it a little bit out of reach? You can be honest with me, man.
A little bit out of reach.
Okay,
just,
cool.
Just for the time being.
Yeah, guess what, dude? Remember, people come to us because they don't have 5K every day to spend. So that's
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
why you get. So is it more so the upfront amount, which is causing you to want to go and speak to Jess about this and get it passed
Yeah,
through?
the upfront. Yeah.
If we broke it down into more digestible chunks for you, would that make it easier to move forward today?
Yes and no. I still have to go past number two, financially.
Okay, all right. Well, just so I understand, man, do you feel like Jess is on board with you learning the skills so you actually?
You gotta tie it off. You got sidetracked. So he said, okay, so 5K. We don't. Okay, can you afford it or no? The 5K.
No, he couldn't.
Did he say that?
He said the full 5K is a little bit out of reach. It's not in the budget, but it'll
Alright.
be easier if we broke it down.
Yeah. So the broken down. Okay, would it be easier if we broke it down? I still gotta go talk to her, but you haven't tied down. If you could do the 2Pay or the 3Pay.
Okay.
So you got to tie that up first. Not so. What this happens a lot. So you handle the money objection. They'll say, "Yeah, I still got to go talk to it." Not a worries. Aside from that, if we did break it up, would that make it easier for you? Okay, yes. Okay, cool. If we did this much, 2 payments, would that make it easier? Oh yes, that all works.
Mhm.
So you still have to tie it off before moving on to the objection.
Okay, copy.
Makes sense?
Yep. Yeah.
You can kind of provide for the family the way you want.
Yeah. I haven't really. I told her I want to try and diverse out of trades.
Yeah, sure.
She understands that, but
100%.
not yet. I haven't found that. Like you guys
that's
reached
okay.
out. You guys
Yeah.
called up, and then so
Yeah.
we're talking then.
Yeah, okay. So would this be more of like a permission conversation or just like
Yeah, pretty much.
a permission conversation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If worst case, if Jess says no, does that mean that you wouldn't move ahead because she said no, or would you probably still want to do it anyway?
Probably find a different avenue.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I can make a suggestion here. Do you mind
Yeah.
if I?
You haven't tied it off again.
What did I miss?
You asked the question and he didn't answer it. So he said, okay, so if she says no, would you not do it because she said no, or did you do it anyway? Probably find a different avenue. What does that mean?
I assumed he meant just no.
You assumed it.
Well, that's what he said, right? Like, oh, I wouldn't do it and find a different avenue.
Well, he said probably find a different avenue. Or maybe I'm missing something in the audio. I don't know. But it said, well, probably find a different avenue. Okay,
Yeah.
so you wouldn't do it or you would do it? Oh, I got to talk to. Oh, yeah, for sure. If you really thought about it, though. So you need to sit there until you get the answer.
Copy. Yeah.
That's what every question, but especially here. That's what every question, by the way, in objection handling or discovery. But you still need to tie off the answer. Otherwise, you're just training them to keep not answering your questions.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Piece of advice on this.
Good.
You've probably heard of the saying, "Heavy is the head that wears the crown." Have you heard? I think it's a Shakespeare quote.
Yeah.
A lot of people, and you probably know it, a lot of people think that the crown is heavy because of the jewels and the gold and stuff. But Sean, what actually makes the crown on the king's head heavy is the burden of responsibility and the decisions that come with it. Right now, Sean, would you agree that at the end of the day, we're all responsible for the decisions we make and the outcomes that we get?
Of course. Yes.
Exactly. So if you thought about it, at the end of the day, whose responsibility is it to learn the skills to make the money so you can provide for Jess and the family?
Well, yeah, it is me 100%, 10%. But then also on top of that, you have to always tell the person that you're with what the ins and outs. Every day, because it's not a one-man band, it's someone else.
It's for both of you, of course.
Yeah,
and that's why you're here in the first place, right? You're probably doing this for her.
Right?
Yeah. Do you really feel like though, if she said no, you'd just
Well, is she gonna be the one going through the course and going through the coaching programs, finding the winning products? No. Who's gonna be going through it?
Me.
And as a man, call me old school, but as a man, whose responsibility is it to take on that ownership and actually do the work and provide more for the family? It's fine. Is that a woman's job? No.
That's the conversation that I'm not having there.
More direct. More leadership. Because
Mm.
this guy's lacking leadership, man. This guy's lacking leadership, which is why he needs to. I gotta go talk to my wife, man. It's not a one-man band. But I have a very extreme view on this, which is why I can say things like that, because I just don't believe into that. It's like I said this to prospects that dude, if I have a wife and then I have to go, talk to her, get her permission to invest in my own business to provide more for the family, she should leave me. I've said this to prospect because that's what I believe in. She should leave me. She shouldn't be with me if I had to do that. Not everyone has to agree with that, but that's my belief. And that's what discovery, the sales call, but especially objection handling, your belief needs to be stronger than this person. And it's not like shoving the belief and forcing this onto him, but it's like leading with the stronger belief because his belief is like, oh, we all do it together and we gotta go. I gotta get permission from my wife, bro. As a man, come on now. You know what I mean?
He's got a kid on the way as well, and he wants her to not have to go to work.
Yeah. So, hey, brother, how are we gonna be the man to not have your wife work while having a child if you have to just go to your wife and just ask for the permission? Do you feel like your wife, as a woman, wants her husband to come and say, hey, honey, do you think we should do this? Do you think we should do that? Do you feel like women want that? Or do you feel like women want, hey, honey, this is what we're doing? Just fucking trust me. What kind of man does your wife want?
If I would pretend to be in his shoes right there, the answers he's giving are, oh yeah, but it's both of us. We've got to both be in on the decision. Like it's not fair for me to do this behind her back. That's the type of language that he's using. I've got to clue her in on what I'm doing. She's got to know she's my number two. Like that's the language that he's using there.
Yeah. If you invest in your own skill set, start a business so that your wife doesn't have to work anymore. That way your child can be with your wife. Is that really going behind her back?
Nice.
Is that so terrible that you do that? That way she doesn't have to work. So your child is with their mother and not some random babysitter.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
That wouldn't be so terrible.
Yeah.
Decide not to do this and just go back to work?
Yep, pretty much.
Hear that? Did you hear that? Play that again.
No, you decide not to do this and just go back to work?
Yep, pretty much.
Are you kidding
How do
me?
you feel about that?
What?
So keep in mind, 30 minutes of discovery of Tommy, I hate my job. I don't want to go back to work a single day. And he pulls out that. Contradicted everything that he said.
Yeah, that's fear.
The entire call. He said, Tommy, I don't want to go back to work again because I hate being at work away from my wife and my family. And then so I said, if she says no, you're just going to go back to work like nothing ever happened. He says, yup.
Do you really feel like that if she said no, you decide not to do this and just go back to work?
Yep, pretty much.
How do you feel about
At the end of the day, it's we'll come up with option B. There's always plans.
that?
But it's just having that second person, just because as you were saying, that the small sums, yeah, but at the end of the day, it's a decent chunk as well.
Yeah, of course. And isn't the reason why you're here in the first place the fact that $5,000 is a decent chunk for you right now? But wouldn't you want to be in a reality where $5,000 is not a big chunk? And your wife doesn't have to go to work, you don't have to go to work, and your child is with their parents, not with some random babysitter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Of course, and that's because it works, man. Like it's a serious program.
Yeah.
If you really thought about it, Sean, is it? And I'll be direct with you here. Do you feel like it's fair to take that crown, that burden of responsibility, and place it onto Jess's head, even though you're the one that's going to be doing the training and earning the money?
It's not really a burden on her head. It's just having an understanding and seeing if she will be on board as well.
Okay. Well, I mean, knowing that this is what you want to do, if we broke it down into more digestible chunks and fit it within the budget, it would make it easier. Would it help if we set?
Yeah, so you're now going back and forth between different objections, right? Partner and money. That's why I say get the value and the money out of the way first and foremost and tie it off. And then now, okay, that those doors are shut. So now all you got to focus on is the partner. But with this, man, yeah, 100%. It's not a logistical one. It's a fear-based.
Yeah.
It's just him putting the response. Yeah, you can see in his face too. You can see in his face that he has fear, which is fine. People have fear. Especially
when I mentioned 5K, he was like this. His eyes were like, he had this big like, whoa, yeah. So,
but do you get that quite often, by the way? Price shock. Do you get that quite often?
Yeah. We've got a free program. It's like a lead magnet, and we call the quote unquote buyer leads, the people that are in there, and we upsell them into this one. And a lot of them, our advertising could be a little bit misleading because it's like, you can start our program for free. You don't need to buy it. So people think, great, the program's free. Yeah. They sign up. We call them, hey, we can help you. Do you want to jump on a call with one of the coaches? By the way, we recommend having some money available. They're like, yeah, no worries. It's $5,000. And like, whoa.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool. So there's different ways you can actually mitigate the price shock. Number one is just skills wise, building a bigger gap from where they are, the problem, going deeper into the problem and building like a bigger dream and so on and so forth. And the consequence, why now? That's one. And the second one is you can do a price anchor in a discovery as an example. So let's just say, okay, cool, man. So before you start talking to me, we're at there, like, okay, you pre and go through this stuff. Okay, so let's just do this because what we do work, because I want to make sure what we do would work for you. What are you sort of looking for in a training program? They say whatever. And then after that, you can also ask a question now. Okay, so you mentioned you haven't taken any like mentorship or training program before, right? Yeah, no, I haven't. Okay, would you like me to give you like a quick run through on how the program, like that industry works, so you have a better understanding? They're gonna be yes. So what you do is at that point, you give them three options. On the one end, it's like cheap. On the other end, it's like very expensive, and you position yours kind of in the middle with the best of both worlds. I'll give an example. Okay, so one end of the spectrum is like the info products, like the cheap courses and the cheap ebooks and those kind of things. But I mean, whoever had built a successful business was reading ebooks and some basic YouTube videos. They're like, yeah, no, they haven't, right? Because they're not getting specific feedback on their situation, right? But hey, it's cheap and cheerful. Some people want that. They just like to take longer time. On the other end is one-on-one consulting, right? Now, if you're getting one-on-one consulting from someone who's built a very successful business, they are what? They are expensive. So typically in the industry, you're probably going to pay like a really successful e-com store owner like $2,000 an hour, right? Now, let's say it takes you 12 weeks. It's like $2,000 times 12. What is it? Like 24 grand, right? But hey, if you got money to blow, great solution. What we do is kind of in the middle where you have the both world where like a step-by-step curriculum as well as getting the right coaching as well without having to drop 24 grand per se. Does that make sense? Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool. So let's just do this. What kind of training support do you feel like you would need? So you go into that. So if you're getting a lot of price shock, especially with people that are not familiar with the price point, that can help as well with the price shock. Does that make sense?
That's great. That's great. I made a mistake. I got in a bit of trouble for it because I made a pitch deck. I made a pricing card with the free option, the 5K option, and like an 18K option. Even though we don't have an 18K option, but it was working for a little bit.
Okay.
People are like, oh yeah, the 18K will probably be too expensive. 5K will be perfect. I made a fake program, and people were like, oh, that one looks really good, but it's too expensive. I'll pick the 5K, and it was working. But then my sales manager was like, brother, what is this program that we don't have? And people started talking like, oh, did you do the 18,000 one or did you do the 5? It got a little bit messy, but
okay. No. So I would recommend doing it this way. That way you don't have to deal with that. But I like the way you're thinking, right? So
yeah, the right thought process, the wrong execution.
You have the right thought process, just a different yeah. So yeah, do that because the reason why this is important is because especially with people that are not familiar with like these kind of coaching programs, they can be like $5,000 for that. What the fuck? They can get that. And I got this when I was moving my company to Dubai, and then I was talking to a business setup firm, and then they said, okay, it's cool. So it's to set up your company is 4K USD. And in my mind, I was like, dude, 4K USD to set up a fucking company. And mind you, I've spent a lot more money than that on coaching programs because why? I have context in the coaching world. I've spent 20 grand, 26 grand, 18K for coaching programs, but business setup was my first time. So I was like, dude, 4K for fucking business setup. What the fuck? I paid it anyway, but I was like, dude, that's quite a bit. But now it's like, oh, it's normal, So that's why in fitness, Matt would run this playbook every time on fitness. But in the coaching world, you can just replicate the same process.
What do you mean he'd run this playbook?
As an example, like the fitness coaching program, right? Okay, so they're on the one end, you got the group boot camps, you got a bunch of people in a room, sweaty, cheap and cheerful. It's fun. It doesn't really get you the results, but hey, if you just want to be around the community, great option. On the other end, you got the one-on-one personal trainer. Now that's it's like the same concept, right? What we do is kind of in the middle, so it's pretty much the same concept. How you run that?
Would you do this to remove the DIY objection, or would you still go and say, all right, so what has you looking for more of the coaching instead of just going on YouTube University and hoping and praying it works out? Is that in replace of that question?
Not necessarily. The purpose of what we just went over is the mitigating the price shock.
Would you then go into, okay, so you say you're looking for the coaching, you're looking for XYZ. What has you more interested in this instead of just hopping on YouTube, praying that it works out?
You could. I mean, how often do you get, hey, I'm just going to do my own objection?
we always get, I'm going to do the free program first because we have
okay.
free...
Okay. Because of your funnel, that makes sense. Yeah. So in that case, I would do it up top after problem. So if you get that often, there's like, okay, then so let's say, yeah, it's just stressful, my job, da da da. They tell you all that. That makes sense. But why maybe get some outside help to make more money instead of just, I don't know, just maybe doing the basic free stuff and try to figure this all out on your own. And also another thing for you too, if you get that objection quite often, you want to diminish the value of the free shit. So you do, oh, well, yeah, why not just do the basic free video and just maybe hope and pray that you figure that out on your own. So a finger gesture, I got this from Jeremy. A finger gesture, you diminish it, the basic free video, the basic free course. Yeah, I mean, just try to watch all the videos and maybe hope and pray that you figure it out. So you see that that's going to take more effort and time. Going back to the value equation. Right? So at my last company, I used to get that objection a lot because the funnel was they would buy like a $17 or $300 like info products. And then the setters would call them up.
I think I even bought it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. Right. So they call you up and then they book onto our calendar, right? So I used to get that objection a lot where, yeah, dude, I think I'm just going to do the thing I just bought. But when you seed those things in, also you can ask these questions too, right? In the classroom, there's also framing for that. If you go to activity and process, and there's a scripting for upselling low ticket to high ticket. So there's another, let's go. There we go. There's a framing from distinguishing. Okay, cool. See the upsell. Yeah, so okay, because imagine you take two different people, right? One person is just going through the basic free videos and just try to everything on their own. Another person is getting advice for their specific problems, getting specific feedback on where they're fucking up on and losing money on. Who's going to get better results? And if they're a sane person, they're going to say, yeah, the person who's getting the specific advice. Right, that's obvious, right? But why is that though? And they're going to say, oh, because you're getting the feedback and yada, yada, yada. Right.
Sell themselves on it. Yeah.
And then you say, yeah, like the highest paid best actor, best athlete, they'll have a cut, right? Not just watching pre-recorded videos. So you seed those things in throughout your discovery. And that also helps with preventing some of those DIY objections.
Yeah, copy. All right. So I'll go through that in the classroom. Cool.
Yeah. It's
very helpful. Very helpful stuff. If I did all of those things that you're saying that I'm missing, like you missed that, I could have got him over the line at least with an open wallet test for a deposit.
Yeah, for sure. As these things adding up.
Yeah, I booked a second call like for Monday to whatever, but it's the only commitment I got.
Yeah, for sure. For you, on the end, as a band-aid solution, is more leadership. Okay, first things first is tying off each objection. So not letting them getting off the hook, you need to get the answer. And it's not being aggressive about it. You just sit there and just ask it until they answer it, right? So that's number one. And number two is more leadership, especially when it comes to partner objection. You got to instill more leadership into him. You can tell that this guy's lacking some confidence.
Yeah.
Right? And most people, in especially when you're selling to consumers, they lack a lot of confidence, which is why they say, I got to go talk to my wife, because they're lacking confidence within themselves, right? So you got to instill more of that, more leadership. So it's almost like, not to sound fucking cliche, but you got to almost like empower the guy that he can take the lead. And you got to almost shift his identity to the person that is taking the lead, right? So as an example, so let's say you go through that, right? So brother, the version of yourself that's actually retiring his wife and whatever other goal he mentioned. Do you feel like he'd go to his wife and ask for permission? Or do you feel like he's the type of guy that takes leads either way? That way it can actually lead his family. And it's a very matter of fact. Like they're going to say, yeah, like he just like takes the lead.
But
why do you feel that? Yeah, exactly. Why do you feel he does that? Oh, because right. So the version of yourself that has already retired his wife, what would he tell you in a moment like this? Well, he would probably say like, do it anyway. Why would he tell you that? Oh, because like I need to do it. So you're literally having him basically overcome his own objection. You're having his future version overcome his current version, so to say.
But what should you do? Oh, I should do it. Well, you should, but what are you gonna do?
Exactly. Exactly. So you can also empathize too, right? Hey, brother, I know it's scary because I've been in your shoes. But so you empathize while holding them to a higher standard. But what do you feel like you need to do in a moment like this? That way, your wife doesn't have to keep working for another man being away from your child. That's another one you can do too. It's a bit of a graphic way of doing it. Yeah, so that way your wife doesn't have to keep working for another man, and that other man keeps telling your wife what to do and what to not do.
Man, that's fuck. You're pulling out all the stops, man. Jesus.
I actually got that from Tate. It's very extreme, but I saw his one video. One of the videos he's talking about that, but it's like very good. Tate and Hormozy has some really good lines that you can use in objection game. I found,
and they both got the same that leading. They're very direct.
100%.
They can take the lead. Okay, all right. So I know what I need to do then. I guess.
Yes, sir.
All right. Can I watch? Do you post these after every session?
Yeah, man. You know where to find them?
Yeah.
Go to the coaching call recording vault in the classroom, and then it'll be uploaded depending on the date. Too easy.
Thank you, bro. And guys, thank you for listening as well. I hope all of you got value out of this, not just me.
Yeah, no, for sure.
100%.
For sure.
Yes, sir. Link just sent to you directly, man. Payne, took on your feedback yesterday, man. I think this one was decently better. Curious to see what you find. I think it's about 2 minutes. We'll get into Q1 question.
Okay. So just general feedback or what?
Yeah, general feedback just on Payne, man. Just want to master that area.
Too easy.
Interjecting, etc.
Too easy. All right.
The accent didn't give it away.
Okay.
But I've been working the last 2 years, so I work remote sometimes. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. But I looked at some of the info that you've shared with the team here. Got a really good understanding of some of the things that is going on right now. I have some similar questions myself, just to make sure that we can actually help you with what you're looking for, man. What's the goal, Jay? Like, what are you trying to achieve through short-term rentals?
Financial freedom. Like, I just don't want to work.
Yeah. Okay. What are you doing for work right now?
I was looking at that video that you sent me yesterday, and one of the things that Michael says in that is that he just didn't want to work 9 to 5 or want to trade his time for the money that he's earning. So I've always wanted to do that. It's just like, and I kind of have some idea or some kind of plan in my head, but I think it's good. So I saw Michael on Instagram, and I thought, like, I was really inspired by what he did, and his journey was really amazing, and that kind of struck like he said in this video, like, if he's doing it, how can I do it?
Yeah. So it sounds like more income that you're after. Yeah.
More income and more financial freedom. I just like asking for PTO time. I just don't like that.
Yeah. Okay. So what are you doing for a living now?
So I'm working with the Canadian Airlines. Yep. I'm in labor relations. So I have been working with them for the last 3 years now.
3 years. Okay, man. Yeah. You like what you do there with them?
Some days, like basically I fire people. Not the best job, but
okay.
Yeah.
What's not that great about it, man?
Good.
I mean, it's good, but there are times when you just wouldn't like it when people are crying in front of you. So I just want to do something more meaningful, maybe.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I see.
Like, like actually travel the world while I can make money and do stuff like that.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, I guess it's not all bad in terms of what you do.
I would have clarified right there. He's a bit of an accent, so I couldn't hear exactly what he said, but I think he says something like, oh, sometimes you got to deal with clients or something like that. I think that's what he said.
People crying all the time.
Oh, okay. That's what he said.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sweet. Oh, what do you mean? Oh, and then he'll expand on the thing. He'll relive that pain. He probably had some annoying moments, right? Oh, people crying. Oh, you're breaking their hearts, or what are you doing? It's like, oh, no, what's happening is, sometimes they complain to me. I got to deal with that. Da, 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 da. Man, like when you're dealing with that, I mean, what does it do to you? Or how do you feel about that? It's like, oh, da, da, da. And with that, I would also like to get more pain from it, unless it's like super fucking annoying and like he expresses that. But like, dude, yeah, that's pretty shitty, dude. I mean, besides that, is there anything else you would change? Whether it be type of work you do or financial time freedom? So whenever you get something, but you feel like, I think I can get something better here, then you can ask that, is there anything else you would change about extra Y if you could? That's another thing you can ask too. Okay, but let's keep going.
Right. What's some of the good things that you like about it?
It's nice. Like, the people are nice. I like talking to them. And then
so I would have just done that. Like, what you did wasn't terrible. Like, what do you like about it? But you're almost going one step backwards because this guy already told you a bit of a problem. So just ride the wave. The same route, the problem is happening.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, just shortcut it straight into two truths.
100%. Yeah.
Again.
And there are times when they would share stuff with you, which is really sensitive and which they would not otherwise. So that is something that I really like, that people put in that trust. And there is some way I am able to help them. There are, like, most of the times I'm able to help them. It's not like, I am the bad one on the other side. But there are times when I'm able to help them. So that is something I like when
I'm able to uplift them or change their lives in some form or manner. Yeah, that's something I like.
That's good, man. It's always good to have a bit of a passion behind some of the things that you are doing with the current role that you're in, right?
Yeah.
I guess outside of having to fire people and that can't feel good, is there anything else that you don't exactly enjoy about the job?
Reporting to my boss. That's something I do not enjoy.
Yeah. How so exactly?
Good.
It's just like you have to tell them everything that you are doing. So basically, my previous boss was better because she didn't really, she gave me the freedom, the autonomy, and like I could take decisions on my own on what I'm doing, and the things I'm working with. But this new one, she wants everything to be reported. She's kind of micromanaging, and when I do something, I just want 100% autonomy in what I'm doing. Because I know what I'm doing and I'm confident about it. So I shouldn't be, there shouldn't be roadblocks to those things. So that is some struggle that I've been facing. But yeah. I mean, I won't say that's a really big problem or but that's something I just do not like personally. And
how long have you had that?
So he says it's not much of a big problem. So I would have almost dismissed it. That makes sense. Now, why would you say it's a bigger problem that you don't really enjoy in your job? Because he said, yeah, it's not really a big problem. So yeah, almost dismiss it. I wouldn't even probe into that because he said it himself. So we want to get to the truth. Not just like a minor inconvenience, but an actual pain. Because if it's like, yeah, it's not big of a problem, then he has no reason to pay 10 grand, 15 grand to fix that. Right? So we do want to get to the pain where it is worth paying 5 grand, 10 grand to fix it.
Do you just ask for the problem? Is there a bigger problem?
Well, because he used the word. Usually I wouldn't, but he used that word. Yeah, it's not really a big problem. Right? So what we want to do is it's called threading, right? Threading conversation. We almost want to use their previous answers to formulate the next question. Because if we do that, then the conversation is going to feel more conversational. It's not something that we have an agenda. Like they already use it. It's like going with the wave, right? It's like surfing. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's not really a big problem. Okay, that makes sense, dude. Well, I'll just say it's a big enough problem that you actually want to change. Because they use that word. Usually you wouldn't, but he used that word.
Makes sense.
Yeah. All right.
And you manage her for how long she's been around?
Almost like 6 months now.
Oh man. Okay. So she's like been micromanaging you for 6 months?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. All right. How's that making you feel, man?
I don't know. I just don't like it. I'm angry about it.
Yeah.
But the way he said it is like, yeah, it's like whatever. You can sense it in their voice. So you don't get to the real pain, the real thing that's fucking bugging him. Yeah.
Have you spoken to her? Have you addressed anything with her?
Yeah, we've had a couple of one-on-ones, but basically.
Yeah, they don't go so well when you're speaking to someone above you.
Yeah, exactly. I just don't like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my main. But it's not. That was just, I would say, a catalyst. But I've always wanted to do my own business, something of my own, where I'm my own boss. I choose my own hours. It's not like I'm trying to hide away from the hard work, but it's just that I want to do it my own way.
Yeah. I mean, man, it definitely sounds like that from what you're talking about, right? With this new boss that you've had. Typically, man, when someone has been feeling that way for 6 months, they typically just maybe change jobs, man, or really just change industries. What's really, making you want to look towards short-term rentals?
Like I
So
said,
this is the end of pain for me. Yeah, I just move out of pain because I'm like, fuck, I don't know what to do here.
No, you can tell because your certainty drops. Right? The certainty in your voice dropped here so that shows that you don't know where to take it. And as a closer, you gotta have delusional certainty. Even if you don't know where to take it, you just gotta say like you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. People can sense it.
I was going to ask for those situations where people are just giving you breadcrumbs and you're trying to dig deeper, probe deeper, and they're not giving you anything. Like, where do you take it at that point versus just moving off of pain?
I mean, he did. I don't know if you were here for that, but he hinted at it. So he said, yeah, I mean, my boss micromanaging me. It's not a big problem, though. So at the case, you go, okay, that makes sense, dude. Well, I'll just say this is an actual big problem that you want to change. It's like, oh, you know what? I hate not being able to travel. And I think that's one of the things for him because he's mentioned that quite a bit of times. So whenever someone mentions something more than once, like 2 times, 3 times, you can get a good gauge that serves some sort of significance or importance for them. Okay. So in the dating world, I learned a term called PDE, primary driver emotion. So each person has a PDE. Everybody here is here because they have something, right? Whether you want to make more money to retire your parents, whether to, I don't know, move into a nice high rise, whether to give to charity, whether to just fucking be the best and have their confidence. Like everybody has their own thing. And so do prospects. Prospects have that too, right? And so this guy mentioned location freedom quite a bit. So maybe that is a thing. You know, maybe he's seen like he's worked at an airline company. He's seen so many people just travel. Maybe it's been eating away at him. He's like, fuck, like I want to do that. I'm just like stuck here. Maybe that's his pain. So maybe you go deeper into that. And so what we want to do is once we identify that PDE, whether it be pain or desire, we want to make pretty much the rest of the conversation all about that. Right. So we want to go deeper. It's like, okay, boom, found it. I'll go deeper into that. Desire, stretch the fuck out of that. Consequence, what happens if you don't get that PDE? What happens if you don't? You keep staying stuck in the job, man. You see all the other people traveling doing while you're just stuck. Just in that at the airport. While you see everybody else just living the life they want. You know what I mean?
What was it? PDE?
Primary driver emotion.
Yeah. Like, dude, you're fucking spot on. The whole conversation was about travel at the end of it. like desire really came out with that. As well as like actually providing for family and stuff, but that's more like back end call. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. And like when I go into X and Y, like talking about delusional confidence, it's like, okay, man, but I guess, and then that's where it's more confused tone, right? X rather than Y.
Yeah, it's almost like you're trying to figure it out in your head. Yeah, that makes sense, dude. But I mean, why maybe look at starting an Airbnb business to get that location freedom instead of just, I don't know, dude, maybe try to get another job and just kind of do it that way. That'll be one way if you keep getting that objection. Or another way you could do it. Yeah, that makes sense, dude. But why maybe get some outside help with starting an Airbnb business instead of just, I don't know, watching like the basic free videos and hope and pray that you've somehow figured it out.
Yeah. Okay. Just to know how to translate that. And to a question that Tommy actually asked before on that topic, you said move that earlier on in the call after pain. That's where like my thinking is around those situations when I can see like potential other objection. But where else can you move that in the rest of the call? Like,
to be fair, you can do it anywhere. So as an example, let's say you can do it anywhere whenever it pops up. So, well, yeah, why not do that? It's not just, that's the thing is we don't always ask that question in that specific section, right? As an example, like the consequence question, you can ask it anywhere, to be fair. It's just that in the consequence section, we, typically happen to ask that. As an example, right? Let's say in the solution section, let's say they haven't, have you tried anything, man, or what have you been doing? He's like, oh, nothing. And, oh, why not? He's like, oh, have you ever, and then you're like, oh, I was just busy, da-da-da. Well, kind of for perspective, have you ever considered that you're not taking more ownership has caused you to be in the position you're in now, being stressed out, that you can't travel? They're like, yeah, you're right. What if like that has maybe costed you? Oh, this and this and this and this. So what happens if you don't get outside of your comfort zone and you keep being stuck in the same position now? That is a consequence question. You don't have to wait until later because you're asking a consequence about that specific thing. And maybe later on in the consequence section, maybe when your future pacing goal, right, desire situation, let's say they're saying like, you know what, dude, I want to fucking travel everywhere and, da-da-da-da-da-da. At the consequence would be what happens if you don't be that guy living that life? You know what I mean? So it can be about specific different things. So don't think that, oh, I can only ask that question in this section. You can pretty much ask it anywhere. It's just that our default go-to is typically during that area in the conversation.
Yeah, that's fucking good, man. I've been thinking about that quite often. Like I've been very rigid. It's like, okay, I do this and then I do this and then I do this. And I've been in that way of thinking. So that's super important to know.
Yeah, 100%. It's important for everybody. It's a good reminder that it's not about the tactics. Like, I mean, that's one of them, the how to do it. But the most important thing is understanding principles. Once you understand the principles, okay, what needs to happen in the conversation at this time, then at that time, you can go into any offer and just fucking quote unquote freestyle. It's not really freestyling because you know what you're doing, right? And it doesn't matter if you get an unexpected prospect, unexpected scenario, you're still able to go to, okay, like I need to do this. It's like putting together like a puzzle piece. Okay, I need to do this here. I need to do this here. Putting together a Rubik's Cube and you're able to navigate through it. So that's why we always study, why am I doing what I'm doing? Why do I need to do this? Okay, this is what I do. So you study, you quiz yourself. If you're not clear, you can ask in the community or hop on here and ask, hey, Brian, why are we doing this? Okay, this is why we do it. And you got to understand it with crystal clarity.
Yeah, cool. Okay, nice. Thanks for that. So just to recap and internalize feedback, that prospect there, I just didn't latch on. I didn't pick up on what the bigger pain was with that guy. I didn't clarify enough.
Yeah, you definitely could have got to way more pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But I mean, you're getting better at interjecting though. So you're making progress, dude. Like you're better. You didn't let him ramble him too much. You know, I saw that you were doing the back channels. Oh, okay. So how long have you been doing that?
Yeah.
That's good, man. Making progress. Keep working on that. And now let's work on just going few layers deep on the pain. And let's keep working on it. Keep hopping on and getting feedback.
One gem I actually picked up yesterday, just from like internalizing it and putting into like actual practice as well. The interjecting actually makes it more like normal.
Yeah.
Like I actually get more from them instead of like waiting and then asking that question, like, how's it feel? It feels like a sales question. Like it really like you're waiting and then like, how's that feel, man? Whereas if you just interject, I feel like you get more from it.
Yeah, because you're talking about it right then and there instead of like waiting and then now it's like,
yeah,
you know, you could, but it's just a lot more conversational interjecting and doing it that way. You're leading to conversation.
Yeah, I said a sales call recording to go over on objection handling.
Yep.
I think it was money fear.
Okay, timestamp.
35.
Okay. Just want to get feedback on how you did and
yeah, like how I could have overcame it. I mean, I think it was pretty sloppy, and I wasn't. I don't think I was super certain when I was talking.
Let's go over it. We can help you get to where you want to go.
I mean, I've seen the videos about AJ even. I don't know if you from the video that you just sent me or even on his Instagram page, where he's able to build about like a multi-million-dollar company, kind of like at that age. Sometimes it's not expected, but then it's just to be like, I'm not per se going to say like I want to be like him, but like I want to.
See, I get you. I hear you. Okay, so knowing that, is it more the upfront amount that's making you hesitate? We could break that up into more digestible chunks. Would that make it easier for you?
Pretty much. But this is something like I have to think about it.
You can, also you can go think about it. Just real quick, what are you kind of hoping to think about? Just maybe I can help you out or answer some questions for you.
No, it's just
Nah, you got sidetracked again. Well, not again, but just like similar case, right? No problem, dude. Thinking about it and money aside, though, would you do it? So you need to be unwavering, especially anywhere, but especially in objection handling. You're dismantling one objection, and they're gonna distract you. Hey, man, another objection. No. We stay here. Otherwise, you're gonna keep jumping back and forth between objections, and now you're getting nowhere. Okay.
Yeah, that's what happened. I think I did this like 5 times.
Yeah, exactly. So you gotta sit, be disciplined, and then really talk about the thing, right? It's like, oh, no problem. Thinking about it and money aside, would you do it? Yeah. Why though? Bada bang, bada boom, and then handle it later. Right? All right.
So like, how much am I willing to put in right now in order for me to gain access to what I need?
Just time wise or money wise?
It should be time and money wise, because literally I work almost every day except this one day, like on Wednesdays that I don't work. So
the coaching calls are pre-recorded. They get recorded too, so they switch times. So I wouldn't worry about attending those if you miss them. Also,
now you're going to a time objection. You're objection hopping.
I mean, at the end of the day, man, like both me, you, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, we all have 24 hours in a day.
That's a trap.
Right? Yeah. But why do you think some people accomplish? It's about making the time for what's important for you. Because if it is, bro, you'll make the time, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't know his real concern. He may say that, hey, the time and whatever.
Yeah.
But that could be a smokescreen. You know what I mean? So we got to talk about
nail down the money first.
Yeah, 100%. So you got to tie it off. Otherwise, you get into the trap of handling the wrong objection when in reality that wasn't even the real concern.
Okay.
Yeah, but let's keep going.
It is.
Okay. So how do you feel like your perspective on that needs to change?
I mean, I got to work on it. That's the thing. I am willing to.
Okay. Just knowing that you will make the time for it, right? You'll show up to the coaching calls, you'll put the work in, and that you truly believe that we can help you to get from where you are now to where you want to go from here. Like I said,
we don't know if he can even do it financially. We don't even know if he believes that money aside, it'll help him get to the solution. That's why in the decision tree, in the objection decision tree, it's in that order. Money aside.
Yeah, I for sure going to go over that more because like I just completely free ball my reframes, everything. I don't think it comes across good.
Yeah. No, it's all good, dude. I mean, you can tell that, okay, you're trying to do something, which is good. Right? Yeah. It's just a matter of refining it. But let's keep going.
So we can break it up into more digestible chunks. You could do 166 a month if you wanted to. At the end of the day, I don't want financials to be holding you back.
Yeah, I know.
I wouldn't drop down immediately and just like showing the cards that much. You want to have some ammo, right? So that's why it's all good, dude. Thinking about it, time, money aside, would you do it? Yes. Why?
It's just, I have like this, some bills that I'm still expecting to pay and stuff like that. So just adding to that might be the too much on it. That's why I said I got to sleep on it before I kind of commit to it. I got the time and stuff like that, but it's just a commitment at the moment. That's the only thing.
So you're worried you can't commit to it?
Hmm?
Are you worried that you can't commit to the program?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, let's say if I start doing it right now, something comes up, like, I don't want to end up homeless to that extent because I say I live paycheck to paycheck and stuff like that too.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Well, it's like this. Are you committed to the program? I mean, are you not committed to the program? Or are you not committed to, doing what you said you wanted to do in terms of helping people out and accomplishing those things? I mean,
No,
if
I'm
one thing gets you to that,
committed to that.
if you're not committed to the boat that takes you there, does that mean you're not committed to, helping people out? Or
Now it can get a bit argumentative, right? So, hey man, but what about this? What about this? You have the right idea. Is the execution needs to be more you getting the same side of the table and normalizing the fear.
Yeah.
Because this guy's in fear,
Okay.
100%, right? And so whenever a prospect has fear, we want to normalize it. Because if we don't normalize it, now they feel even weirder because, oh, fuck, I guess I'm not supposed to feel fearful, but I'm fearful. And then like the fear just amplifies, right? It's like telling
So I
someone
don't
that's
even have to
angry
go
to
down that path.
Hmm?
I don't even have to go down that, like, the
Yeah.
path I'm going down right now.
Yeah, 100%. It's just like calmly. So that's why the objection becomes a lot simpler once you just go through with the decision tree because they can give you all the, like, they can tell you whatever. They can
Yeah.
tell you that, I don't know, like their cat ate their credit card. No worries, dude. That aside, money aside, would you do it? Yeah, what? So you don't have to think, fuck, which objection do I objection handle? No, you don't. You already know. Doesn't matter what objection happens, right?
Okay.
Yeah. And the second thing too, like if they, let's say you handle that and then like they give you fear, it's like, dude, like you having that fear, like that's totally normal. So you want to empathize while holding them to a higher standard.
Okay.
Right. And then you want to get in the same side of the table, meaning that it's not like you versus the prospect arguing. It's more so the prospect is here, you're here, and then you're attacking their concern together. So that way they can actually get to where they want to go because their concern is blocking them. Right.
So like sit on the same side of the table.
Exactly
from
right.
opposite sides.
Exactly
Okay.
right.
Or just help me understand.
No, I'm committed to helping people out. Like, I'm committed to my goals and stuff like that. So to what I want to do. But the only thing is, me willing to do that, I got to do something to it as well. Like, but the only thing is literally my finances right now. Based on like how much
we
I'm
can talk
making.
finances, brother.
Yeah.
Can
That's
you?
why I said I
how much-
gotta-
okay. At the end of the day, once like bills are paid, living expenses are paid, how much cash on hand are you working with? Like cash on hand that you can put towards investment that won't throw you out in the street or make you homeless.
You also want to ask that question more empathetically. Otherwise, people can be a bit defensive and close up, especially with people like him, because you can tell like he has some sort of fear. You know what I mean? So you want to ask her like, yeah, man, no problem, dude. Now, after you take care of your basic living expenses like rent and food, how much cash on hand are you working with at the moment to see if I can help you? So it's a typical, I got this from Jeremy, with like the more personal invasive question, you can do this to show empathy, to help like create like a safer space for them to open up. Right? Yeah, no worries, man. And then if they're being, I don't know, if they feel like they're kind of not telling you, a lot of times it's because they're embarrassed or they feel like they're going to get judged or whatever it may be. Yeah, no worries, no judgment at all. I'm just asking to see if what we could potentially work out for you. So ballpark, how much would you say you're working with? And the way you say it is very important too. It's like, yeah, no worries, man, dude. I'm here to help. It's like making it not a big deal. And you got to show that in your sub communication. That helps them open up more. Yeah. Because a lot of times in objection handling, a lot of times people are fight or flight mode because like money's on the line and fear's on the line. So you just want to kind of calm them down a little bit by doing these things.
Okay.
Yep. All right.
I mean, I would say about, damn, I gotta ask for rates to be honest, but about a 500 should be 500 or less should be good, depending on.
Are you able to make $166 a month work?
Yeah, 166 a month. Yeah.
Okay.
Should I get into level where I'm paying for it?
There's zero interest on that too. So it's just $166 a month break, even like over a year, over 2 years. Do you want to look at that? How that would work?
Yeah.
I would just pay attention to your tone because your tone sounds like, hey, we could do this. You seem a bit too eager.
Okay.
Right? So just sitting more casually, it's almost like, dude, we have this.
Yeah.
I could help you out. Would that help you? It's almost like you're helping them out instead of like eager to like kind of doing this. You know what I mean? Yeah, gotcha. This 500, that's usually a bit tough. However, yeah, we might be able to help you out with that, man. So would you like me to walk you through it? So you are helping them out because guess what? Who has the problem?
They do.
Yeah. And you have the solution, right? So
Just
you
don't
got
throw
what
my
they
cards
want.
out too early. Too
Yeah,
quick.
and you got what they want, so there's no reason for you to be eager.
Okay.
You know? So
Okay,
just
this part's just me explaining WAP. You can just skip through that.
yeah, okay, cool. I was like financing,
Yeah.
but I would end it at okay, and then he got to prefer the financing.
Yeah, no, he wanted to pay next weekend after his paycheck came in.
Okay, but he had the 500.
Yeah.
Yeah, then it's fear. Like once it stops logically making sense, then a lot of times it's fear. Like, okay, cool. Like he has 500 and it's 166 a month.
Okay.
You got to
Yeah,
prove
'cause
the
then he,
166 a month.
Yeah, it's everyone gets approved for it if you just have a credit card.
That's good. Yeah.
So
So yeah,
yeah,
man.
then he was just like, "Can I do the program first and just pay after?"
Okay, yeah, it's fear.
as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that could have went wrong in the discovery, but for now, that's the number one thing. Number one, focus on handling, like, follow the tree, right?
Yeah.
Instead of jumping from one objection to another. That's number one. Number two is normalize fear. Be more chill, because right now you seem too eager in objection handling, and you got to find out the real concern. Because you mentioned like all these different things, right? You got to get the real concern. Let's work on that first, and then implement that.
Sure.
Okay, and then keep hopping on and keep getting feedback, and it will keep working on it.
Awesome.
We'll dialing it in. If you enjoyed this video, we actually recorded a 7.5 hour mini course on how to get to 10K to 20K a month in commissions as a high ticket closer. You can go right here or go to the first link in the description box below. I'll catch you there.